Allegedly, Farrah shared that she had some uncomfortable experiences with Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles. She said that her manager at the time happened to be Matthew, and he invited her to a hotel to meet and talk. When asked if Matthew tried to make a move on her, Farrah replied, "I have not met many people in my life who did not like me. I will just put it like that." Farrah also talked about how Beyoncé and the others in Destiny's Child treated her badly from the start. She said they were not nice to her at all. In another situation, Farrah had to make a tough choice. The last flight was about to leave, but she had no luggage with her. She was told it would be better to go without her luggage than to miss the flight. But Farrah was worried because if someone sent her luggage later, she would have to wait for days before she got it. In the end, she had no choice but to board the flight, even though she did not have her things with her. Black and Since they had 2 top 10 Billboard hits with 808 and Bring It All to Me, and their self-titled debut album went platinum. You would think that with those stats, they would have been the top priority for Columbia, and the group grew their success and became well known as a girl group. They were also connected to some of the biggest pop acts and singing groups of their time. But for reasons that were never explained, their music never came out. The album Blackout was ready, but at the last minute, Columbia Records decided not to release it without giving any reason. Many people believe that Matthew Knowles may have made this decision because the group could have competed with Destiny's Child. If you think other bands had it hard, wait until you hear what some former members of Destiny's Child went through. One person who has shared a lot over the years is Farrah Franklin, and she has a lot to say. Farrah joined Destiny's Child in late 1999 after she was hired as an extra in the Bills, Bills, Bills music video. She later earned a full spot in the group, joining Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland after LaToya Luckett and Latavia Robertson left. Farrah appeared in the music videos for Say My Name and Jumpin' Jumpin', but unfortunately, her time with the group did not last long. Farrah's time with Destiny's Child only lasted a few months. In July 2000, Matthew Knowles spoke to MTV and said the group decided to part ways with Farrah because she missed several shows. He explained, "The bottom line is that Farrah did not show up for work. I do not care where you work, whether it is on a production line or anywhere else. If you do not show up, you will be fired." Beyoncé agreed with her father and said that the reason Farrah left the group was because she missed several performances and promotional events. She made it clear that it was not a decision made by the managers, but rather by the group to continue as a trio. She said, "We have nothing against her, but we just felt that we could continue as a trio, and that is what we are doing." But if you ask Farrah, she tells a different story. According to her, she did not miss the events because she did not want to attend, but because she had already left the group. She said she quit after allegedly being mistreated by Matthew Knowles. Farrah also claimed that Matthew lied about the situation to avoid more problems after 2 other members had already left the group. When it comes to Beyoncé, Farrah said that, just like her father, Beyoncé also lied about why she left. Farrah said, "That is not true. I never missed a show. If I had, I would have been kicked out of the group. You know how much I was being paid." Farrah explained that she was always paid to perform at shows, and that performing was the best part of her day. She said she never missed a show, but when she left the group, they were not honest with the public about why she left. Instead, they tried to make it seem like they just needed more time to clear things up. Farrah insists that she never missed any shows, posted it on Twitter and other platforms. Matthew Knowles, however, responded by saying that Farrah was the only one lying. In an interview with Vlad TV, he talked about some issues with Farrah in the group. He claimed that Michelle told him Farrah had been sneaking out to nightclubs. Matthew also spoke about Farrah's claim that he got loud with her. He called it ridiculous and said it was hard to believe she would leave behind $50 million just because someone raised their voice at her. Farrah had even more to say about her time in Destiny's Child. She suggested that Matthew Knowles, the group's manager and Beyoncé's father, might have tried to make a move on her. In a video that resurfaced online, Farrah shared a moment where Matthew allegedly invited her to his hotel room to meet and talk. This video came from a TV pilot that was meant to feature former girl group members, but it was never aired. The video first appeared on social media in 2020, when someone who claimed to have worked in television posted it on Twitter and other platforms. In the video, Farrah didn't specify when exactly the incident took place, but she did mention that, only 5 months after this event, she was no longer part of Destiny's Child. When asked if Matthew had tried to make a move on her, she hesitated for a moment before responding. Farrah said, "Unfortunately, my manager happened to be Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles." This admission raised many questions for fans and critics, especially because of the power dynamics at play. Matthew Knowles had a significant role in managing Destiny's Child, and Farrah was just a member of the group at the time. Her comments suggested a sense of discomfort and confusion surrounding her experience with him. Farrah didn't go into further detail, but the implication was clear enough for people to wonder about the nature of their interactions. The fact that this video resurfaced years later added even more intrigue to the situation. It was as if Farrah had been trying to keep her side of the story under wraps for a long time, but felt the need to speak out after all these years. Her comments did not just focus on the alleged incident with Matthew, but also reflected the overall tension she had felt during her brief time in the group. Farrah's time with Destiny's Child was short-lived, but it seems that her experience left a lasting impact. She had joined the group in 1999, just as the group was gaining popularity. Her stint in the group lasted only a few months, and she left in 2000. After her departure, there were many rumors surrounding her exit, with some suggesting that it was because of her conflict with Matthew Knowles and other members of the group. For Farrah, the experience was clearly challenging, and she has not been shy about speaking up about the things she went through. In fact, in other interviews, she spoke about feeling mistreated by the people around her, including the pressure she felt as a member of Destiny's Child. She mentioned how difficult it was to navigate her role in a group with such powerful figures in charge, and how the internal politics of the group made her feel like she didn't have a voice. When Farrah left Destiny's Child, it was a big deal. The group was on the rise, and her exit came as a shock to many fans. However, Farrah has always said that her departure was not due to missing performances, as many had speculated. Instead, she felt like she was being pushed out because of tensions behind the scenes, which she attributes to her strained relationship with Matthew Knowles. In her interviews, Farrah made it clear that she was not the only one who had issues with the way the group was managed. She alluded to the fact that some of the other members of Destiny's Child also struggled with the way things were run, but those stories have often been overshadowed by the group's success. Farrah's comments have added more layers to the ongoing conversation about what really happened within the group and how the management made decisions that impacted its members. Farrah's perspective on her time with Destiny's Child is just one side of the story. While many have focused on Beyoncé's rise to fame and the group's success, Farrah's words offer a glimpse into the challenges and complexities that came with being part of one of the most famous girl groups in history. Her experience highlights the often unspoken pressures that come with fame and the sometimes toxic dynamics that can develop when there is so much at stake. Although Farrah's departure from Destiny's Child was quick, her story continues to be a point of interest for fans and industry insiders alike. The allegations of mistreatment and the suggestion that Matthew Knowles may have made inappropriate advances have added to the growing conversation about the behind-the-scenes struggles of famous groups. Farrah may not have had a long career with Destiny's Child, but her voice is still being heard today, and her story has sparked important discussions about the treatment of women in the music industry, especially those who are just starting out. Farrah's decision to share her story in 2020, after all these years, shows that there is still a lot of unresolved tension from her time with Destiny's Child. It serves as a reminder that not everything about the group's success was as smooth as it seemed on the outside, and that there were personal struggles and conflicts that were hidden behind the glitz and glamour of fame. Farrah's experience has sparked many questions, and it will likely continue to be a topic of discussion for years to come. Given all the stories about Matthew's infidelity, it would not be surprising if he actually tried to make a move on Farrah. People have said that the tension caused by this might have played a part in Farrah being kicked out of the group, but Farrah herself has never confirmed this. However, she has shared other things she went through while being in Destiny's Child. For example, in an interview on Wendy Williams, Farrah revealed that it was forbidden for any member of the group to be lighter than Beyoncé. She said that all the other members had to tan to make sure they were much darker than Beyoncé. Farrah also spoke about how Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, tried to downplay her natural beauty while she was in the group. Farrah explained, "You do not talk about Tina Knowles because what she did to me is a different story from how she looks. She is a beautiful woman, but I understand she wanted to downplay my natural beauty while I was in the group." When asked if Tina ever made her change her appearance, Farrah admitted, "Yes, my hair was red when I was in the group. I looked different. I looked like the old Kelly with red hair." Farrah went on to say, "I look so much different now. Sometimes I do not even recognize myself. I know my name, but I do not recognize the person I used to be in the group." Farrah shared that she naturally looked a certain way, but this was the look the group wanted her to have. She said, "What else could they do to make me look less attractive?" While she did not think it was a bad thing, she had to tan a lot because they wanted Beyoncé to be the lightest one. Farrah mentioned that she, Michelle, and Kelly would often tan, but Beyoncé would not, unless they were at the beach. There are claims that Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, encouraged the other girls to go outside in the sun and tan. However, she specifically told Beyoncé not to participate in tanning. This was not just about making the other girls darker, but about making sure Beyoncé appeared lighter. Tina also apparently did not want to work with darker-skinned girls. For example, Ashley Tamar Davis, who was once a member of Destiny's Child, had a former voice coach who claimed Tina did not want to work with her because she was dark, big, and ugly. The coach later recalled a moment when she spoke to Ashley. She said that at the time, she did not fully understand what was going on, but she could feel something was wrong because of the energy from Ashley's parents. After the coach began sharing details about what had happened, Ashley asked for more information because she truly wanted to know. The coach then shared a surprising story about how there had been a color issue in the group. She said that Celestine, the coach, went back to her apartment and told her that she had made the right choice by leaving the group. The coach told Ashley that it was probably for the best. She said, "Ashley is talented, but she is so big that she towers over the other girls, and she is too dark and ugly." This is exactly what Farrah meant when she said that they were not allowed to be lighter than Beyoncé. Anyone who was too dark was treated unfairly and discriminated against. Ashley is not the only former member who has spoken out about how they were treated in Destiny's Child. LaToya Luckett and Latavia Robertson also shared their experiences and even took legal action against Matthew, accusing him of showing clear favoritism towards Beyoncé. In their lawsuit, they claimed that Matthew tried to take legal guardianship of them and refused to share financial details with them or their parents. The girls also said they did not even know they had been kicked out of the group until they heard the song "Say My Name" on the radio. Latavia once spoke about the kind of manager Matthew was. She said, "Matthew did not hold back with his words, and it was hard to take that kind of criticism when you are just a young girl. We tried not to let it affect us, but Kelly was the sensitive one, and sometimes she would go to her room and cry." Latavia also shared a story about how Matthew once tried to replace her with their choreographer for a tour while she was sick. She said that he would never have done something like that to his own daughter. As for the members who stayed, Michelle Williams also had her own challenges while being part of the group. Michelle Williams also shared that she struggled to feel like herself after leaving Destiny's Child. In 2017, she talked on The Talk about how she battled depression while being in the group. She said that when she told their manager about it, he did not respond in a helpful way. She said, "When I told our manager at the time, bless his heart, he said, 'You just signed a multi-million-dollar deal and you are about to go on tour. What do you have to be depressed about?' So I thought, maybe I am just tired." In 2002, Kelly Rowland was asked why Destiny's Child decided to take a break. She told CNN that their manager suggested that each member should work on their solo records. But reports say that the real reason Matthew Knowles pushed them to go solo was because he had bigger plans for Beyoncé and wanted to break up the group so she could focus on her solo career. There are also stories about Tina Knowles, Beyoncé's mother, allegedly forcing Kelly to cut her hair because she could not have anyone look better than Beyoncé. The pixie cut was very popular at the time, so it is possible that it was Kelly's choice. However, some people say Tina pushed her to do it. These are some of the things Farrah Franklin has been talking about. Even though many people have ignored her experiences with Destiny's Child, there are others who believe she should be heard. Do you see how Farrah was treated unfairly? What are your thoughts on how Destiny's Child was managed?